go now, baby. Week 2, Sunday afternoon NFL action. Joe and Jingles coming at you. We got spreads, we got totals, we got props. We have 10 combined best bets. Before we get into the action, quick reminder, hit that like button right down there and make sure you are subscribed to the Covers YouTube channel. Now then, let us get right into the action. Going to start things off with the Detroit Lions to cover the spread, favored by 6 points with the Chicago Bears in town. So do not be thrown off the scent by that ugly loss here for the Lions last week in Green Bay, because this has been traditionally a really good spot for them under Dan Campbell. After their last 10 outright losses, they are 10-0 against the spread with 7 double-digit wins. Now, as for the Chicago Bears, I think we have to be asking ourselves, is this the same old Bears? Is Caleb Williams indeed an enormous bust? As that game went on, Williams and the Bears just got worse and worse on Monday Night Football there against the Vikings. They finished the game with 127 penalty yards, bad clock management by Ben Johnson at the end of the game. So a lot of red flags. Tough spot for them going into Detroit against a hungry Lions team. Their season home opener as well into the Lions' den. I think they're going to get eaten up. Give me the Lions to cover as a 6-point favorite. Okay, Jingles. Breece Hall looking to stuff the stat sheet here on Sunday. What do you like for him?
I love carries. I love the carry markets. You can't take anything away. Over 13.5 carries, plus 120. The Jets, highest rush rate in week 1, 63%. But that's par for the course in a Justin Fields offense. Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis got their pieces. 8 carries for them. Hell, Fields had 12 carries himself. But Breece Hall, another big game, 74% of all running back opportunities. Maybe Braylon Allen gets the carries in tight, but it's going to be Breece Hall getting a lot of the work, facing a defense that the Ravens offense finished 2nd in EPA per rush and 5th in rushing success rate versus them. The blitz here is projecting 13.7 carries, 55 rushing yards. The 15-plus carry prop is available plus 155. 20 at plus 1 or 20 at 850 isn't really off the table either. And it's just an offense that won't abandon the run with Justin Fields under center. 15 carries I like here for Breece Hall. Let's get 14 for plus money, Joe.
Okay, next up, let us go back to Detroit for my favorite prop bet of the day on Sunday. David Montgomery over 12.5 receiving yards. Going to go back to the well on this one. Absolutely love this spot. So he's coming off a game where he caught all 4 of his targets for 18 yards. And Montgomery has now gone over this number at 12.5 receiving yards in 8 straight regular season games. And he's done it quite easily. Last season, we saw him reach 30 or more receiving yards on 7 occasions, a season in which he averaged 24.3 receiving yards per game, including going for 36 in a game against the Bears. Don't forget, this is a revenge game. Go back to 2023. He had receiving yard games of 19 and 22 against them. And for what it is worth, the Bears are coming off a game where they allowed Aaron Jones to go for 44 receiving yards. Montgomery over 12.5 receiving yards. Okay, Danny Dimes, standout surprise player in week 1. And you like something for him in week 2. What are we looking at?
Staying on the carries, over 5.5 carries, even money. Jones had 7 carries last week in a game against your Dolphins. That was over before it began, it seemed like. And then Shane Steichen just loves to run his quarterbacks, it seemed. There were 4 designed runs for Daniel Jones of the 7 with 0 kneel downs. Little more kneel down equity in this game versus Denver. But Anthony Richardson averaged 7.4 carries per game when he was starting. He didn't finish all of those games, but that's a lot of carries for Shane Steichen run offense. And Daniel Jones, maybe not the best passer, but we know what he can do with his legs. Over 5.5 carries. Give me 1 kneel down. I'll take it. But if he doesn't, there are some scrambles. There are some designed runs here. So love it. And the projection here, 6.66. So way off there. Like it to minus 130.
Okay, next up, let us go to Baltimore. Home opener for the Ravens, coming off that embarrassing loss to the Bills. Let's fade their opponent, the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people saying that this week. The way I'm going to fade them is take under on their team total of 16.5. So since the start of last season, the Browns have gone under their team total in 15 of 18 games. Now you might think 16.5 is too low. It's not low enough, in my opinion. They've scored fewer than 16.5 in 13 of their last 16 games. Home opener for Baltimore. Like I said, the Browns were here late last season. They scored 10 points in that game. And this is not a spot for the Ravens to be playing down to the competition, coming off that embarrassing loss in Buffalo. So let us fade the Cleveland Browns to go under their team total 16.5. Okay, Jingles, let's stay in this game. A man by the name of Derrick Henry. You like him to do something?
It's square, but like Baltimore was coming into this game angry regardless after what happened in the Buffalo game. And then all of a sudden, Brown safety, who nobody's heard of, in Grant Delpit says, Derrick Henry is not hard to tackle. This is the last human being that you want to give any bulletin board material to. Even on the broadcast, they showed him stiff-arming that rookie safety in Buffalo like 14 times. And Chris Collinsworth was saying it was embarrassing. You never even hear that ever on air, but they did. He was angry. He had 3 carries of 20-plus yards in that game. Going to be angrier. So where do you go? I was thinking about the 20 and a half over longest rush. Let's go 2 rushing touchdowns plus 260. It's not a market I hit a lot, but Lamar Henry on the goal line, just in this case, angry Henry. I think instead you give the ball to Henry. I don't think you give it to Lamar in this spot. Baltimore got a little cute last week in the fourth quarter. I think they just say lesson learned. Let's pound the rock. Multi-TDs in 3 of his last 4, including playoffs, and a 20-carry, 130-yard, 2-touchdown performance versus the Browns last week in Week 18. Myles Garrett was there. Looking at the same price, 130 rushing yards. I'll choose the TDs here. I think Baltimore lays a licking here in Week 2.
Okay, next up, ugly looking game in New Orleans with Mac Jones and the 49ers in town. Total of 40.5. What do you think I'm doing for this one? Indeed, I am taking the under on this number. So Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler. Do I need to say any more here to convince you to take the under? I will say more because that is what we do on the program here. So both teams coming off games where they didn't even combine to score 35 combined points with their opponents. Now, I do think there's one really good unit in this game, and it is the defense of the San Francisco 49ers. Unlike their offense, they're pretty damn healthy, coming off a game in Seattle where they held the Seahawks to just 13 points on 4.6 yards per play. Saints coming off a home game against the Cardinals, whose defense is average at best. They only scored 13 points. They stunk on 3rd down and in the red zone. So yeah, ugly game, but I think a beautiful betting opportunity to take the under in New Orleans with the number at 40.5. Okay, Demario Douglas in Miami to take on my Dolphins. What do you like him to do?
This game could maybe break the record for most short passes with both quarterbacks. But I'm buying the dip here. Demario Douglas over 3.5 receptions, plus 135. Everybody wants to go get Kayshon Boutte, and I think he's great. I think him at a touchdown at like plus 350 or better is great. But this number, 4 catches for Pop Douglas at 135. He's going to get his targets. He didn't do much with them last week. He did get the touchdown, but outside of that, he still had 7 targets and just 2 catches. But he is the low A-dot receiver with Kayshon Boutte running the deeper routes. And Drake May last week didn't attempt a pass further than 25 air yards versus the Raiders. We know what the Miami secondary is, and it's trash. 29th in PFF grading before the season, bottom 5 in success rate, bottom 5 in EPA in week 1 versus Daniel Jones and his new team. There is ladder potential here. 5+ at 375, 6+ at 875. 2 games versus Miami last year. Pop Douglas, 5 catches in both of them. Yes, Boutte and Diggs are out there, but this team ran 3 wide receiver sets at a better than average rate. Love Demario Douglas catching some short ones. Add him up over 3.5 and plus money, Joe.
Okay, we got to give out a pick for the game of the week. Of course, it is the Super Bowl rematch in Kansas City with the Eagles in town. And I'm going to take those Eagles to cover the spread, favored by 1.5. So first of all, let's check out the game situation. An extra day of rest for the Eagles. Of course, the Chiefs aren't coming off an ordinary road game. They need to fly back from Brazil. So that is not ideal. So in that game, I do think that they look pretty slow. I think Patrick Mahomes needed to do way too much. I think that's going to be a major theme of their season, at least early on, that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have any help. I think that's a fair complaint. So go back to the Super Bowl, a game in which Patrick Mahomes was sacked 6 times. That was a big reason why the Eagles ended up blowing them out. And I think that the Chiefs' offensive line might be even worse this season, so that doesn't bode well for them. Go back to the week 1 game for the Eagles. It was an ugly win, yes, but I do think they got shell-shocked right off the bat. Jalen Carter gets kicked out of the game before even one snap took place in the game. So I do think the Eagles defense will bounce back in this one. And just look at the rosters. Much more talented roster here for the Eagles. The Chiefs still rolling out Kareem Hunt, Juju Smith-Schuster. Are you serious? Let's go Eagles. Take them to cover by 1.5 points. Okay, Jingles, bring it home for us. Touchdown score, Javonte Williams.
Opportunity is everything, and availability is everything as well. Javonte Williams, anytime touchdown, plus 120. Brian Schottenheimer, we saw Jaden Blue be a healthy scratch right before Thursday Night Football to kick off the season. That was a surprise. And now Schottenheimer's out here saying Jaden Blue needs to show more consistency before becoming active. That doesn't sound like he's going to draw in. And if he does draw in, he's certainly not going to be trusted with that goal line opportunity stuff. Javonte Williams' role as the all-purpose back looks secure in a good home matchup versus a bad Giants team. Williams converted 2 of his 3 red zone carries last year in a run-heavy offense. Miles Sanders, another great angle. They gave him the rock. I had him for like 850 to score a touchdown. He got old. He got chased down by a linebacker, and then he fumbled late in the game. So I don't know where the trust is in the trust tree with Schottenheimer in terms of Sanders in the goal line. I think it's going to be Williams again, who looked great. And this is a team who I think at home going to play faster. Strong value for a back who could see 20 touches behind a healthy offensive line that has 3 first-round draft picks. Giants also finished 30 in success rate versus the rush and EPA last week. Williams plus 120. Great number 1 back for a touchdown this week, playing to even money minus 105.
Okay, that does it for our best bets for week 2 Sunday afternoon action. If you're looking for best bets for the Sunday night game, we're going to have a standalone video for that right here on the Covers YouTube channel. Enjoy all the games on Sunday afternoon, and best of luck with your bets. Woo!